Shalom. Parshat Va-Etchanan, the second Torah portion in the book of Devarim, begins with the heartfelt plea of Moshe Rabbeinu begging Hashem to be allowed to enter into the land of Israel. Let me now cross and see the good land that is on the other side of the Jordan, this good mountain and the Lebanon. And we can sense the pathos, the one thing that Moshe really was looking forward to, his dream, what he was really living for, to be able to enter into the land of Israel, was denied him. And there are so many amazing things that are going on in this week's Torah portion. Moshe exhorts his beloved people of Israel to fulfill the commandments within the land of Israel. And indeed, the way that Moshe describes the relationship of Israel to the mitzvot and to the land of Israel, he really conveys the idea that the secret of our national identity, as well as our national success, is in our performance of God's commandments within the land of Israel. See, I have taught you decrees and ordinances as Hashem my God has commanded me, to do so in the midst of the land to which you come to possess it. You shall safeguard and perform them, for it is your wisdom and discernment in the eyes of the people, who shall hear all these decrees and who shall say, surely a wise and discerning people is this great nation. For which is a great nation that has a God who is close to it, as is Hashem our God, whenever we call to him? And which is a great nation that has righteous decrees and ordinances, such as this entire Torah that I place before you this day? And also in this parsha, we find the concept of the exile and the promise of return. From there you will seek Hashem, your God, and you will find him. If you search for him with all your heart and all your soul, when you are in distress and all these things have befallen you, at the end of days you will return unto Hashem your God and hearken to his voice. And that is a promise that God will not abandon the people of Israel. And there are many concepts in this portion of Va-Etchanan: the idea of Moshe's relationship with Hashem, the relationship of Moshe to the people of Israel, the relationship of the people of Israel to God and to the land of Israel, loving the land, fulfilling the commandments, and the repetition of the Ten Commandments, variants of the Ten Commandments, and of course Shema Yisrael, and the first paragraph of Kriyat Shema, the daily Shema prayer, and you shall love Hashem your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. These words, which are the declaration of faith from time immemorial for the Jewish people, the hallmark of Jewish identity, are contained here in Parshat Va-Etchanan. And we could say really that there is a theme that connects all of these ideas. There is a thread that really binds together all of these concepts. And that theme really is love. What does love have to do with it? You know, there is a very beautiful way of understanding the fact that Parshat Va-Etchanan invariably falls out in close proximity to the 15th day of the month of Av. As it does this year, most years, Parshat Va-Etchanan is the week of the holiday of Tue B'Av. Tue B'Av, the 15th day of Av, is a very unusual day. What is this day? What is its nature? How is it celebrated? In the time of the Holy Temple, Tue B'Av was actually a festival. And it's a day upon which there's a manifestation of divine love that is broadcast, that radiates through all of creation. According to our sages, Tue B'Av, the 15th day of the month of Av, together with Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is the happiest day of the year. And in the time of the Holy Temple, this was a day of great rejoicing. In fact, there's evidence that there was a week-long holiday from the 9th of Av, ending with the 15th of Av. And this is a time that is so unique and unparalleled on the calendar. Historically, there were a number of events that were intertwined, that occurred in various periods on this day. This was the day, for example, that the decree against the generation of the desert, that they would have to pass away in the desert, that decree in the last year was rescinded officially on the 15th day of Av. Later, when the children of Israel came into the land, this was the day that the tribes of Israel were permitted to marry with each other, and also the day that the tribe of Benjamin was reinstated into the nation. And it's the day when the spirit of prophecy returned to the world, and Moshe Rabbeinu again was able to experience that intimate brush with the divine. So it's really a day of very unique spiritual yearning and promise and divine assurance and consolation. And it's a day that emphasizes the unity of all of Israel and the eternal bond of love that's shared between Israel and the Almighty. This is a very singular, eternal, and unconditional love. And there is even a tradition based on mystical knowledge that in the future, Tu B'Av, the 15th day of the month of Av, is the day associated with the rebuilding of the Holy Temple. And that makes sense, of course, because what bigger manifestation of eternal divine love is there than the rebuilding of the Holy Temple, which will affect the total tikkun, rectification of Israel and the entire world, with the return of the divine presence. The manifest love that God has for all creation will be so discernible and so recognizable. So even in our time, before the temple is rebuilt, this day in modern Israel of Tu B'Av has a certain flavor of, it bespeaks love, matchmaking, betrothal. It's a day when many weddings take place in Israel. It's a day of the relationship of bride and groom. And in fact, the Mishnah tells us that in the time of the Holy Temple, there was a beautiful custom on the 15th day of Av, Tu B'Av, that the daughters of Jerusalem would all dress in borrowed white gowns so that none would be held above the other, all would be equal, and they would dance in the vineyards. And this is really a symbol of Israel's true great love that shines forth on this day. And it's a certain very unique spiritual energy that reverberates on this day and sort of reminds Israel that no matter what, nothing can really separate her from her love, her beloved. It kind of brings to mind the verse in the Song of Songs, behold, he stands behind our wall, watching from the windows, peering out from the latticework. And especially bearing in mind the process of mourning that we have come through now, the process of Bein HaMitzarim, the 3 weeks, crescendoing with the 9 days, and Tisha B'Av, the concept of this rejoicing really expresses this quintessential characteristic of the Jewish people as expressed in Psalms 30, to change mourning and sackcloth into dancing and joy, to be able to get up off of the floor, to get up out of a position of mourning and to embrace the now, to embrace the future, to find a reason to rejoice. Indeed, the connection of Tisha B'Av and Tu B'Av as the idea of a week-long holiday in the time of the temple expresses this indefatigable spirit of the Jewish people, the whole concept of how even in the blackest situation, even in the situation of destruction and mourning, from that very calamity bursts forth the potential for ultimate redemption and a manifestation of the greatest level of divine love. And all of these themes really are reflected in Parshat Va-Etchanan as well. And in fact, speaking of the mysterious concept that Tu B'Av is actually associated with the rebuilding of the third temple, Parshat Va-Etchanan really does begin with an allusion to the temple itself, because Moshe Rabbeinu, when he was asking to be allowed to enter into the Promised Land, he expressed himself in a very unique way. He said, let me now cross and see the good land that is on the other side of the Jordan, this good mountain and the Lebanon. Moshe was asking to see Lebanon. We thought he was asking to come into the land of Israel. And so our sages tell us that this is an allusion to the Holy Temple. The good mountain is Jerusalem, and Lebanon is the Holy Temple. It's called Lebanon because in Hebrew, Levanon, from the root Lavan, white, the Holy Temple has a quality of whitening and cleansing sin and really purifying the entire world. And this is what Moshe wanted to see. And the whole theme of Tu B'Av, the theme of the male-female paradigm, the most beautiful imitation of divine love, as is expressed between God and Israel, of course, is the pure love between man and wife. This is the theme of Tu B'Av. And indeed, Moshe reminds the people of Israel. He called all of Israel and said to them, hear, O Israel, the decrees and the ordinances that I speak in your ears today, learn them and be careful to perform them. Hashem, our God, sealed the covenant with us at Chorev. Not with our forefathers did Hashem seal this covenant, but with us. We who are here, all of us alive today, face to face, did Hashem speak with you on the mountain from amid the fire. Face to face, that also is so unique, that description of our relationship with Hashem at Mount Sinai, and the epitome of the relationship of face to face, of course, is man and wife. And so this too is alluded to in our Parsha. And all of these themes, the themes of Tu B'Av and the themes of Parshat Va-Etchanan, again, Moshe's relationship with God, Israel's relationship, especially as expressed through the declaration of the Shema. These are huge concepts, unparalleled expressions of love. And when Moshe was reviewing, and again, recalling how he beseeched God to be allowed to enter into the land, he said, but Hashem became angry with me because of you, and he did not listen to me. What is this idea? Moshe tells Israel, he became angry with me because of you. And our sages teach that this is expressing the idea that because at the incident of Moshe striking the rock instead of speaking to it, because he spoke ill about the children of Israel, that's why he was destined not to enter. That was the reason for the decree, because he spoke negatively about the people of Israel. And this is Hashem here telling him, because of Israel, and so now, because of you, he did not listen to me. And our sages tell us the great lesson that we learn here. Imagine if Moshe, who was the humblest of all people, the closest to God of all men, and who loved Israel with all his soul, yet spoke negatively of the people of Israel. How much more so do we have to be on guard and careful never to allow a negative word to pass our lips about the people of Israel, if this was his punishment because of you. But yet, the same Moshe Rabbeinu, back in the book of Exodus, when it came to the incident of the golden calf, and Hashem was so upset that he said that he would wipe out the nation and start all over, Moshe said, if that's the case, erase my name from your book. His total dedication and sacrifice for the children of Israel, so evident with those words, erase my name from your book. And that really bespeaks the relationship of Moshe and Israel. Also a characteristic of Tu B'Av that recalls the beautiful idea which is part of the wedding ceremony. Speaking of Tu B'Av, the Jewish wedding ceremony that we are so familiar with, where the groom places the ring on the finger of the bride and declares, behold, you are sanctified to me through this ring according to the law of Moshe and Israel. This is a very unique statement that we don't really find a parallel to anywhere in the lexicon of Jewish rite or experience. These words, according to the law, the dat of Moshe and Israel. And this is a very beautiful idea that's expressed to explain why the groom sanctifies his wife with these words. It should be according to the law of Moshe and Israel. Of course, we know that every bride and groom is a tikkun, a rectification for Adam and Chava, for Adam and Eve. And yet when things went haywire in the Garden of Eden, and Hashem came to Adam and asked him, what happened here? We all know the first thing that happened was that Adam said, the woman that you gave me, she tripped me up. It's her fault. But yet, when Hashem told Moshe that he would destroy the children of Israel and start all over again, Moshe said, I cannot live without my people. I cannot bear even to be alive, even to ever have been created, if not for the people of Israel. Erase my name from your book. And this is the highest level of self-sacrifice and dedication. And so we hope and bless every bride and groom that their relationship, that the groom's dedication and sense of responsibility for his wife will be not like it was with Adam and Chava, where he was too quick to blame her, but as it was with Moshe and Israel. If that's the case, erase my name from your book. So in the Shema, we are commanded to love God with all our hearts, with all our soul, and with all our might. And as our sages point out, even if he were to take your soul from you, as is demonstrated by the famous story of Rabbi Akiva, classic example of giving up one's life for God. Is it reciprocal? Where do we find an expression of that love that God has for Israel? And of course the answer is here in Parshat Va-Etchanan, where all of these themes are connected. We find pretty much couldn't be clearer than this when Hashem tells us, and Moshe repeats these words, for you are a holy people to Hashem your God. Hashem your God has chosen you to be for him a treasured people above all the peoples that are on the face of the earth. Not because you are more numerous than all the peoples did Hashem desire you and choose you, for you are the fewest of all the peoples. Rather, because of Hashem's love for you, and because he observes the oath that he swore to your forefathers, did he take you out with a strong hand and redeem you from the house of slavery, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt. So, what's love got to do with it? In Parshat Va-Etchanan, connecting it to the glorious holiday of Tu B'Av, everything.